Today we're going to review going over sketching for our gnome or fairy luminary houses using Adobe Draw. I'm going to begin by opening my Adobe Draw app. Once I'm in the program, I'm going to start a new project by clicking the bottom right-hand corner, the orange plus sign. And for this, I'm going to select just a letter or portrait format because that's the way I like to hold my iPad. If you like to hold your iPad horizontally, you can choose it landscape if you like. So I'm actually going to start by bringing in some inspiration. One of the things I love about sketching on the iPad is that I can bring in some ideas. So I have this little kind of funny illustration that I found on the web of little like fairy tale houses, gnome fairy houses. So I'm just going to kind of look at some of the design elements of these. I'm not going to copy them, but I'm going to look at like the rounded windows and the arched doorways and things like that, or even using parts of a mushroom or hat for my design. So I'm going to go ahead and now put my draw layer to the top and make sure I'm on that layer when I start drawing. So I'm just going to use a regular round brush for this, and I'm going to sketch 3 different ideas. So I always like to kind of zoom in so it feels more like I am drawing on a piece of paper when I'm drawing on the iPad. So I even like to kind of turn it a little bit. So I do love the idea of like a mushroom roof. So my first idea for a lantern or a luminary might take advantage of that. I'm going to check my brush size here. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so maybe I have, a kind of mushroom like roof for my fairy house. Give it some spots. Maybe I give it a little chimney as well. Now, maybe instead of having kind of like a skinny mushroom bottom, it's more like a tree trunk maybe. So maybe it has kind of like an uneven bottom here, like almost like roots. And again, like I said, we often kind of see these cute houses have these arched doors and maybe round windows. And maybe my little fairy house has a little sign. Maybe it also has a round, that is too large, a round window cut out here as well. So this might be one idea. Now, for this project, I need to be thinking about not only what do I want to make, but how on earth am I going to make it? So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for this project, I can do a pinch pot for my top. That just kind of looks like a little pinch pot turned upside down, right? And maybe I can actually build the walls with coils. So I could wrap those coils around and then smooth them out to get this kind of tree trunk shape. I could then carve to create this kind of tree-like texture. And I could also cut out the windows. Maybe I'll cut out some of the spots in the mushroom to let light in. So maybe that's where my luminary comes in. So what I might do to show that, to show my cutouts, is actually go ahead and make another draw layer. And I'm gonna set that draw layer to have a blending mode of multiply. And maybe I am going to fill it in with yellow so I can see that is where light is passing through. So this way I know this is the cutout of my luminary. So maybe I do all of these spots here, and obviously I would have some light shining through the chimney as well. So that would be just one idea. Now I'm going to think about my second and third ideas. So they could be variations, they could be completely different, they could be you know, we have like a teapot here, so maybe I go with like a tea cup shaped house, and maybe it's sitting on a saucer. So I would have a little door here with a little handle. Maybe I actually make, maybe it's a cup of hot chocolate and there's kind of whipped cream on top. So that could be really fun. And then again, maybe some windows. Maybe this time they're arched windows. And so I could plan to do another pinch pot here. And I could definitely do coils here. Pinch pot, PP, we'll put that. And then I could definitely roll out a slab here for the base. So that kind of becomes the base for my entire little house. Now my last house might be maybe a tall, maybe it's like a tree trunk that's been kind of cut off. So there's that top, and maybe I'll actually have some branches coming off of this one. And again, having windows to have light pass through, and another door, maybe a really tall arched door, and lots of carving details for the bark of this tree. Maybe I even add more branches and make it kind of creepy, fairy tale like. So I would continue, and maybe this time the walls are slab, and maybe I also make a base here, and maybe create a pinch pot for the top. So for each idea, I need to have a plan, and I need to identify what method I'm using where, and I'm also going to identify where the light is passing through. So these sketches are definitely going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more planning, because you get to choose how you construct these. So I'm not going to tell you that you have to use the pinch method one area, that you have to use the coil method in another area. You're going to go ahead and decide that based on your structure, your house, your luminary, and what you think is really going to work best and be the most successful. But the plan has to be really thoughtful. So I expect to see all of these elements in your sketch when you go ahead and save it and upload it. You can always leave your inspiration images. It's fun to see those, or you can double click and turn the eye off.